And I stand here alone with my head in my hands. I've been gone so long, I can't remember where I've been. I'm thinking about back at home, my family and friends, my brothers don't know that I'm there till the end. It's one thing that we all know. It's one thing we all know. No man's left behind. You'll see me once, you'll see me twice. I fight alongside my brothers. There's no man is left behind.
Of the four of you, who has PTSD?
Well, I can say I do.
I do.
All right.
Just walk in and say I do. Here we
Just
go.
say
Hey, what's going on?
Just
Hey.
say I do.
Yeah, stuff.
He has of the four of us who has PTSD.
Of the four of us?
Yeah.
Of the four of us, or all the four of us?
How do you guys cope when issues pop up? You get triggered and stuff. What helps you out?
We beat the piss out of each other. No, like we listen. I'll be the first to say that we do have our moments where we damn near bounce each other off a wall.
I can see that, yeah.
But at some point, yeah, right. You see that? This guy, the biggest dude.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we have a tendency to bring it back down to earth, and I don't know, just put it back together.
And the crazy part about it is that we all know how to actually tell people how to cope, but when it comes to our own coping, it's a little different.
Yeah.
So you bounce off each other in that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We also lean on each other too when it comes.
We do lean on each other.
Yeah, I would expect so. With all the things you guys going through, whatnot. That's good. That's cool though. And some of this stuff's going to seem a little obvious, so bear with me. Have you ever exploded in anger at work?
Are we talking like from
Within the
him
last
down?
48 hours?
Can we
ever.
just say yes because we did that yesterday with every one of us? We all exploded
Right.
or imploded, whichever you want to call it. Yeah, it happens a lot.
Right.
Does happen a lot.
Now,
That's not figuratively either.
yeah.
No, literally, we're and most of us are pretty armed. Like we usually carry stuff, but so we will probably end up killing each other and then going to each other's funerals crying. So it's weird.
Now, that's between the four of you. Does that happen at work? Does it happen in family? Does it happen in public to other people at all?
You want to speak? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it can. Everybody's got their own kind of individual triggers and what they deal with. And so we've been around each other long enough now to kind of know what triggers everybody. So we can kind of, sometimes everything. But we can kind of look out for each other. But I mean, it does happen. Sometimes not a whole lot you can do about it, but we're all fairly educated, our significant others, family, and stuff like that. We work really hard to make sure that everybody's educated on what's going on, so that we try not to ruffle any feathers and hurt any feelings if we don't mean to.
And just like
However,
just like we try to educate who we're with, and let them know, what's going on with them. And I had a caregiver, so it goes that far. You actually require someone to actually watch over you. But it's also not just that. It's we don't let them know what's going on, then we're kind of shutting them out, and we don't need to do that. They need to be there to help us as well, just as much as we're helping each other.
There you go.
I get enough. I get enough at work. I blow up at work. Yeah,
So he doesn't have to
Yeah.
blow up at home.
pretty much. That happens too. But my wife just usually, talks me down,
She's armed.
and she is armed also. Yeah. So, yeah.
We live in a dangerous world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing the fireman thing for about 13 years, and so I'm kind of on our shift for sure, the crusty, pain in the ass guy, who the chief stops asking me what I think now because I tell him.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, there's been a few instances where I've flown off the handle, and had to get sat down and, ask if it's worth my job.
Yeah.
And then I have to have my captain go, "It is worth your job." It's like, no. Don't, it's not worth it, rather, don't. Yeah.
We'll have the talk.
To like bring all that together, yeah, it happens to us like pretty regularly. I think we're all on edge most of the time, and even with each other, and we know each other quite well. Like, we're just on edge with each other, so like it happens.
You know what brings it all together, right? Is all the music that we play.
You guys ever have any insomnia or sleep issues? And is it always
No,
the same?
no, of course not. Absolutely not. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is
Like,
it
I
always,
rarely sleep.
is it always the same dream?
4 hours for most people here.
Is it always the same dream? Probably not. Like, I have like several dreams that I have that are recurring, but for the most part, it could be just like.
They rotate. It keeps them fresh.
Yeah. It's kind of like watching a movie for the first time in like 3 years. It's cool. It's awesome.
So far, this is the best interview. Let me tell you guys. Thank you very much.
Cool. Awesome. We're happy for that.
And half the time, I'm triggered as shit, and I'm sitting here shaking from hearing all the stories, going, "Okay, that was cool. Thanks for the answer." You guys are cracking me up, so that's good.
Well,
I think that's
that's
funny. You should wait till Jared takes his shirt off.
oh,
Really gonna get funny there.
yeah.
Obviously, humor is a coping mechanism.
You know,
we
That's
don't
good.
laugh about
It
everything.
doesn't have to be good humor either.
Do you have flashbacks? And does that repeat at all?
2-part question.
Yeah.
This is
Double Jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy. How much are we willing to bet?
Yeah. Once again, I mean, that falls back with everybody's got their specific triggers that do certain things. So, but
He
We're
almost.
all starting to
answer
figure
your
out each
question,
other's flashbacks too.
yeah, everybody deals with it. It's just triggered by different things.
We all know we're all starting to figure out each other's triggers while because we've been around each other long enough that we know certain things that trigger all of us.
I think that like for me, as far as flashbacks, like I haven't had one. I haven't had a serious one in a while.
That's good.
But yes, I still have them, and they're not always the same. They're not always the same. Some of them are simply just like different scenarios because there were scenarios that you experience different situations that cause serious trauma stuff, and that's where your flashback comes from.
Right.
Well, in my world, so they change.
Okay.
But I haven't had one probably in about a year.
Do you anybody ever get emotionally numb? Not that you just stop caring, but that you don't feel anything at all.
JP?
But he's like,
Under the bus.
I know I have. I was numb for a long time, and I sometimes still get numb. Yeah,
Hmm.
it happens to me.
this guy here.
You guys?
You gotta be.
This
That's
guy
my
here.
go-to.
Yeah, it's like default. It's like default.
Wow.
Like, oh, something's happening. Guess
When his
what? I
brother
don't
throws
care.
something at him and he hits him in the head, he just stands there like it didn't happen. That's how numb he gets.
That's not happening.
That's
Give an example of your hypervigilance.
All of us sitting trying to get
zoom
against
in
the
on
wall.
I don't know. For me, like I am always looking over my shoulder. I'm always like, when I go in a big crowded room, I'm always looking for a way out. So yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, I mean, a good example would be like we go out to eat together.
We're all
trying,
in a booth.
trying to find a corner where everybody
where
can see the
everyone
corner.
can face the door.
we're all in a booth looking out at the door.
Is anybody there easily startled? Loud noises? Somebody tapping you on the shoulder unexpectedly like that?
Let's say yes and yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like that's an easy one, and
There's actually no explanation needed on that.
yeah, there isn't. Like most of the time, like anytime I meet somebody new and like you're in close proximity, I always tell them, hey, look, announce yourself when you walk in the room, because if you don't, it's gonna hurt.
Do you have any negative thoughts, and about what?
There's four of us, and
This is not a large question.
No.
there's four of us, and there's only one person. Can it make sense? We all have negative thoughts together.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what happens is we feed off each other, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The negative and positive.
And then, but there's times, I'm sure individually we all have negative thoughts that we can expand on here. But
Yeah.
it's all individual. It's an individual response. But together
think-
as a group, I mean, we feed off each other.
Right. And in being human itself, like negativity happens, but it's a little deeper and darker for us.
Ever feel hopeless or guilty, and how does that affect your lives?
I think that, I mean, we all feel some hopelessness at some point, but I'd like to, I at least feel that the group as a whole has progressed a lot. So a lot of the hopelessness isn't quite as intense as it used to be. Obviously, you hit a rut and you go down that path, and we all experience that from time to time, from something band stress or life stress, or something just in general.
Hopeless, helpless person. I put a shotgun in my mouth in 2004. So yeah, I've been there. That this is what keeps us alive.
Yeah, that's great. I'm proud of you guys for doing it, and I'm proud you're all still here, because it matters. It really does. Anybody ever engage, in self-destructive behavior?
Who you want to start?
What?
What?
No.
Like the tour.
Yeah, that's what we do.
How do you know the name of the tour? Self-destructive behavior.
Yeah, I think especially all of us individually, definitely that's something we got to watch out for, because it seems to be very common, especially in the community that we deal with. It's very easy. You got a lot of stuff going for you, and you be the first person to shoot yourself in the foot. So we're always watching out for each other to do that, because that seems to be kind of our go-to reflex when anything starts going kind of well.
Right.
Is to kind of go.
I can't
Hey, how
take
can I
all
mess
this
this up?
positive. This is too positive.
It's the self-destructiveness and stuff. That's obviously a sign of PTSD, but it's also a sign of non-support from the outside. It's usually for someone that's by themselves and has no outlet.
Right.
We have our
Push
outlet.
everyone.
So we have our outlets here, and we're having each other. So I mean, again, going back around, I mean, our support channel is pretty strong. And not just that, our fans, believe it or not, when our negativity comes up on our Facebook page, for instance, man, first thing happens, whoa, what are you doing, man? What are you thinking? I get a phone call. Seriously, I'll get a phone call off my Facebook just to, what the hell does that mean? I'm like, dude, it's just a post,
Yeah.
People looking out for me.
Did you want to say what you just said? Because like that was pretty freaking spot on.
Well, when you talk about self-destructive behavior and a sign of being alone, it's not that you don't have anyone. A lot of times it's that you're pushing everyone away, and you go back to your safe zone where A, you're numb, and 2, you're alone, and I can handle this, and that's where you start to implode. So
You ever heard of the Circle of Man?
Yes.
Michelangelo,
Yes.
right? The guy standing in the circle, like that's his comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you notice how close that circle is.
Yeah.
There's nobody else inside of that circle but him,
That's it.
and that is where we retreat to a lot of times.
How do your symptoms affect you and those around you?
I guess for a broad stroke answer, for kind of a broad stroke question, I guess would be, the individual. Most of the signs and symptoms are a negative, and so we try to take that and to turn it into as much of a positive as we can. But it can definitely affect everybody around us. If one person's in a bad mood, it can definitely bring the atmosphere of the whole down. But vice versa, the group staying positive and watching out for each other can bring a negative, somebody in a bad spot, bring their spirits back up.
Fantastic.
Right. And I think also, like, on the other side of that coin, like, we as a community have a tendency to influence people around us, and we can also cause secondary PTSD from our own experience, not intending to have it done,
Yeah.
but it's plausible. So
Right.
it's something that has to be thought about and considered.
I got TBI. That's my head. And he has TBI. I mean, actually, I think all three of us have TBI. I don't know with this guy though, but I know all three of us have TBI. That's a really big. We forget things, and if we don't like tell each other to remember it.
Even then,
The
even
percentage
then.
wise is small, but one of us will eventually remember that.
Right.
So yeah, that's
I'm learning to write shit down for these guys.
yeah.
It's so easy for you to sit there. I can't help but think you have nothing to fear. Everything I've done has been done in vain, because you're the one that's caused all of my pain. And I need to breathe. And just for one day, I need to breathe. And I've got to get away. I can't deal with this, 'cause it makes me miss my soul. Baby, I confess I can lay it to rest. Let it all go. I can't sleep at night. I have horrible dreams. All these things inside really me apart of the scene. I can't help but think this will never end. When will I feel my heart? Where does the peace begin? 'Cause I need to breathe. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. I need to.
Well, Bruce, thanks for having us, man. It's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this.
As well with you, sir. I hope everybody does great. And if you need anything at all, just let me know.
Awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, brother. Take care.
All right, bye.